Alright, so I don't typically do like talking videos on my YouTube channel, but this box came today and it is a Mobius Mini. I'm going to do an unboxing video and I think it will be helpful. I mean, I wish I had something like that for before I bought it when I was trying to make my decision. So first impressions is that it's a box and just shipping stuff. Okay, so here's the Mobius Mini Type A. They did some work on the user experience of the unboxing here. Kind of a nice, this is the kind of box that you want to like, has embedded magnets and you want to keep it for other stuff. So cool. Oh, here is the Mobius Mini, and it is small, like small. USB Mini, not micro. I don't know why they kept that, but there it is. Micro SD card slot, power button. Looks like the capture or video start button, and a mode button. Let's see if it's got a charge out of the box. I long press the power and I get a flashing orange. Okay, that probably means battery low because it just timed out or turned off. So I'm guessing this is an accessory package. And let's see what we got here. So we have before us a little baggie, pretty handy. We have the charging cable, or well, I don't know if it's just a charging cable, but it's definitely a USB A to B, like maybe foot or 16-inch cable. A sort of USB B breakout cable. So USB B looks like you've got, oh, interesting. Grounds go to all three cables, and you have ground and power here, and ground and video here, and ground and audio here. So there's that. Obviously what we have here is no documentation at all. So there's that. Not one, but two lens caps. And there's one on the thing already. So I'm pretty sure they expect you to lose lens caps. Which, I mean, yeah, I do lose lens caps, but I also have a drawer full of lens caps at the same time, so go figure. This is cool. Well, here's a little Velcro double sticky. This is cool. It does not have the, I think that's a 1024 threaded screw hole for a regular tripod mount. It does not have one built onto the Mobius Mini. It has this adapter plate which screws on to the Mobius Mini should you want to adapt it to go onto a tripod. So there's that. Cool. And it's got some screws there. Those look metric, which makes sense. And a little screwdriver, and that's for these screws. They're little Phillips. So add this to my collection of little screwdrivers I never use. This is that a micro? It is a micro SD adapter to USB. Fantastic. It's kind of nice that they give you this. Stick that in the bag. Oh. Did I press a button? Okay. When I turned it on before, there was no micro SD card, so when it flashed and turned off, I assumed that meant there was enough charge to keep it on, but it might just mean that there was no SD card, and so it just turned off. Which I'm sure is a setting you can change, since you don't necessarily want a micro SD card if you're using this and the video out for any reason. So there it is. Get some calipers. 0.565 or 14, looks like probably 14 and a half, no, 14.4 millimeters that way. And I'm going outer button to outer button here. There's 29.9 millimeters and 1.178 inches. And now I'm going to exclude the buttons. I'll get 1.149 or 1.15 inches, 29.2 millimeters wide, and front to back 49 millimeters and 1.93 inches. The lens seems to be centered, and it is 0.2 out of the box, out of the main box shape, and 5.13 millimeters, and the lens extrusion itself is 10 millimeters or 0.394 inches. Okay, and so I get the bottom of the USB Mini, 0.187 inches from the, let's see, yep, from the bottom there, 0.19 inches from the bottom of the device, and the SD card slot opens up a little bit above that, which is about 2.22 inches. Okay, and I think I'm putting the center of the mount point about 0.875 inches from the back. Well, okay, 0.87 inches from the back of the device, and that seems to be centered. So it looks like we have, oh, those are little prying points probably to get the bottom enclosure off there. Now, using an SD card slot, or the SD card, you can see that it does want to push all the way in, and I don't have fingernails, so the SD card actually sits recessed in a little bit when it's actually inserted, which is nice. It's not sticking out at all. So there we have it. I'll try powering it on again. A long press on the power, and I get a solid orange this time. Mode press gives me blue, and then a red, and we're back to orange. So those are the three different modes that I assume that you can set up. I assume that the mode on default is video, and so I'm going to hit the capture button, and this looks like it's capturing video probably. So we get a QA sticker here. We get another indicator light on the back, as well as that looks like a mic hole right there. We have like a little lanyard feed through thing on that corner. Looks like it's capturing video probably. Looks like we get a QA sticker here. Okay, this is the rig that the HD2 came off of, the Runcam HD2 came out of. I 3D printed this sort of mount for it. The design is actually up on my Thingiverse account. I think the thing is Greg Maker. If you search Thingiverse for that, you'll get the STL and the solid file for that. Anyway, for a comparison, well, and I will just say too that the camera was really secure when these pads were not in it, and then I added these pads, and that lifted the whole thing up so that it could slide out the back. When the pads are not in it, then the HD cam sits right on the surface, and then it's butted up against here in the back, and then there's walls around the front sides. Anyway, just to show you how this fits up as a size comparison, there's the Mobius Mini in the spot where the Runcam HD filled all the way to this side over here. So it is really quite small in comparison. And the HD2 went all the way up to this surface where it sits here now. So it's that much shallower, or it's not as long, I guess you would say, and then it's definitely a lot smaller width-wise as well as height. I now have the Mini off, and I'm going to plug it into the computer for the first time. I've dealt with this kind of before on GoPros and stuff. The video breakout cable is different than a regular B cable, so you can't get at these same feeds through breaking out a regular USB Mini connector here. It has to be the sort that actually gives you different pins out, and so I don't know if you can really tell, but these are different. One has leads on the top and bottom, and then the regular USB Mini has just leads on the top there. So plugging that in, I had it off, so this powers on, and okay, it actually does act as a USB. Okay, here's the video that I just took. And it looks like it's going to overlay date and time stamp on the video. So after having plugged it in to the computer without turning it on first, I get it coming up as a removable drive in Windows 7, and I get a red indicator here, and red on top, and an orange one on the side here. And I think it's definitely charging. It feels a little bit warm, so it's probably charging off that USB port as well.